So being intimate with someone as a Christian especially is something incredibly sacred, I think, for anyone. And in this clip, we have an ex OnlyFans star speaking with her boyfriend about how they navigate that post her past. Now, this is something that I think most men's idea of hell. I mean, I don't want to be too dramatic, right? But it's fair to say that not many men want their partner to be an ex OnlyFans star in the industry, to say the absolute least, right? But let's actually watch this clip, because I actually found this clip incredibly moving, and I really hope it has the same impact on you.
How did you and Jordan go about navigating intimacy preferences given my history?
Okay, well, it was definitely, I would say it was definitely hard, you know,
Yeah,
it was definitely hard. There were moments where like images I've seen would like come back, and like when times we were like intimate, like it would like flood my brain, and I like literally couldn't focus.
So, I mean, what an incredible man, right? Because the way they met was, so she was on OnlyFans, they start talking while she's still an OnlyFans star. He kind of, they talk, they call, he falls in love with her. And bearing in mind, I think for most men, they would deeply struggle with this, because the notion that the person you love is out there on the internet, naked for millions of people to see, consume, that will never, ever go. The sacredness of someone's body has been seen by the world. That is something I think so difficult. And I know to myself that I would struggle so much dealing with that. And I'll be completely honest, I don't know if I could actually overcome that, because I think that would haunt me. Now, I don't want to say I couldn't, because I think love transcends all rationale. And I think what I can't stand, right, is I see a lot of these kind of red pill men, and I even looked at the comments to this clip, and they're like, oh, what a cuck, what a simp, or like, what a beta male, or all this nonsense. And this really goes to the heart, I think, of people's heart posture with tradition, because real tradition, real love is sacrifice. It's, you know, doing things you don't want to do for love. You know, this man clearly loves this woman, and he went through the mental hell of having to deal with something that obviously is really horrific to do with having your partner have a past visible online, and also even just seeing images of her making, I wouldn't even say making love, I'd say just having sex, because you know, you could argue it wasn't love, you know, that, you know, making porn is not love. It's the furthest thing from love. You know, I think in many ways, I won't even lie, it's from the depths of hell. But, and I also want to point out, right, imagine how difficult this is for her, a woman who clearly loves him. She has to deal with constant attacks from prudish Christians, basically saying, oh, she's too far gone, you know, she's from the streets, where, you know, horrible comments like this. And I think she's a very interesting case, because she says things like the most hate she gets is not from, you know, atheists or just random people. It's actually Christians. And I think we must always remember, as Christians, everything we do must be done in love, you know, really does need to be the case. And I'm sick and tired online, especially, of just a bunch of men who are clearly insecure about themselves, about maybe their bodies, maybe their financial status, maybe their height, and they basically put these insecurities to women. You know, I think there is an ideal, right, about love, about what we should share with each other, maybe before marriage, maybe after marriage. But things happen. People make mistakes, you know, people do things they wish they didn't do, you know, people watch porn. To my shame, I've watched porn, you know, and it's not good, you know, it's not good. And I'm not one to cheer and kind of relish the fact and kind of, you know, the cheap grace, as Bonhoeffer speaks about, because it's wrong what we do. It really is. And I have a lot of shame around you know, watching porn and stuff, and I shouldn't have. I really shouldn't have. And it's contributed. It's a dreadful industry. The list could go on, right? But if someone, you know, doesn't feel loved, maybe grew up without a dad, maybe had an abusive partner, and they go into the industry. Like, we should show nothing but love to that person. And I think that it's so easy to sit on your high horse and to be like, no, they're this, they're that. But anyway, I'm going on a complete rant, but let's see what else this guy says, because this, ladies and gentlemen, this is real love. This is real love. You know, this bloke has to deal with this, right, which most men would not tolerate, right, would not even entertain that they could get past this. But this man clearly loves her so much, he's willing to will the good of the other. He's willing to deal with the, must have been such a difficult time going through this, about navigating your partner post OnlyFans. But anyway, we'll see what wisdom he imparts, because this is a man who really is preaching what he believes, and massive. This is a proper man, ladies and gentlemen. This bloke, I don't know who he is. He's some American man, but I would love to meet him, because he seems like a quality guy. He really does.
Really couldn't focus. Like,
Yeah.
I could not shut my mind off. I could not shut off like the things that I've seen.
Yeah.
But like once like God got me through that, it was a lot easier. Not that I don't like sometimes randomly, to be honest, like think about that stuff anymore. And it's not necessarily just a comparison, but it's like if you think about your significant other and you see that, you know what I mean? It's just like, dang, like it just it's a punch in the gut. Like,
the amount of shame she must have, I really feel, and may God bless her and be with her through her shame, through her guilt, through her self-hatred, because it's online and she can never go back. And no matter how much she repents, no matter how kind of close to God she feels, there will always be people on the internet who do, and she says this, constantly remind her, constantly say that, and she has to live with that. And that is a massive weight and burden to have to deal with. So really, God bless her. And it seems like she's doing a lot of good now, kind of speaking about the ills of OnlyFans and everything around that. And yeah, I just thought this was really powerful, because I think with a lot of this red pill sphere kind of Andrew Tate stuff, you have a lot of people who speak about tradition, or like, you know, traditional relationships and traditional this and that. And the truth is, you know, I would argue actually what he's shown here is real tradition, in the sense that he is the most traditional romance in a way, in the sense that he's willing, and I'm not saying it's an ideal scenario, her being an ex-OnlyFans person, but he really does love her, and he's willing to sacrifice. He's willing to go through hell and back, probably, in his mind. Now, I don't know if I'm being too hyperbolic here about what he's experiencing, but I think most men, right, have experienced being jealous, right? Let's say there's a girl they like, then they see a man maybe flirting with her or whatever. I think men are a bit primal. They want to, you know, I don't know, let's say, you know, there is an anger kind of, I think, and a primal thing about what it is when a man loves or claims, I don't know, claims a bit much, I think, but like, you know, loves a woman. And I think that when a man knows that a woman has been kind of with someone else, it hurts. It really does. And he's obviously experienced that, but now they have a kind of fruitful, real relationship. And I think we can learn a lot from this, because it's so easy for men, I think, and myself, like I get jealous for sure. And it's so easy to kind of go into that pit of almost resentment, or however you want to call it. But this is a man who is living in love. And I think we can learn so much from what he's saying here, like about navigating love, about navigating past in the 21st century, because it's difficult, you know, like most people do have sex before marriage, most people do watch porn, most people do masturbate, most people, like, you're navigating a world which is so warped of love and what is wholesome, what is good, what is lovely, as Paul speaks about. So it's like, it's difficult navigating it, but there is a way through, and that way through is God and love, and he nails it, you know. And I've massive hats off to him. It's a completely random video what I'm making it. I just wanted to make this video because I think there's so much nonsense out there about people's history, people's past. There's so much shame, there's so much prudishness in the Christian sphere, And this is a guy who really, really does believe the gospel. He really does believe the message. He really does believe in what it means to love, what it means to will the good of the other. And my hat's off to him. And I found this really moving myself. So I hope you did too. And whatever you're going through, let's say you are someone who, if you got in a relationship, it would hurt you if your partner had a big past. And, you know, I think that's a kind of normal reaction. There's nothing wrong with that. And you shouldn't kind of suppress it or hide it, because that is a kind of normal, I think, biological reaction to have. You know, I think it's almost like a primal reaction. You know, when you love someone, when you find someone special, the notion that someone else has kind of had what you had, in a way, it hurts, you know. But that does not mean that you go to the dark side of resentment or anger or insecurity, or, you know, you're vulnerable. You express your struggles with that, and you work through it. And the only way through is love. You know, if you want love, if you want the fruits of love, you have to go in with love, you know. And that's just the transforming, beautiful thing of what it is to be in love. And what an example, and what a man, what a brilliant guy, you know, top bloke. But yeah, I hope you did enjoy. Like, subscribe. Very random video. Hope you enjoy it. I know it's completely weird what I'm saying here. I don't know if it makes any sense whatsoever, but I wanted to talk about it. I hope it has an impact, even if one person sees this. But yeah, love you all. Peace.